Alrighty. We're going to wait for everybody to get connected here so that everybody can be a part of the party. Make sure we're good to go. Alright, we got the screens up. We got everything looks good now, on my end anyway. So we'll give everyone a couple seconds to get connected before we get started, and then we'll get this party going. Alright, so let me see. So today on the After Schrock, I'll share some stories. I did some part ordering this week, and it was a very frustrating experience. So I'll let you know kind of what we're short on, like what challenges we're facing, and how we're kind of getting around them as best we can. It's been pretty rough actually. We actually got Ryzen processors direct from Korea last week. It's kind of weird. It's called gray market. So basically what happens is AMD sells processors in different regions around the world. Obviously there's the US region, there's the Asia region, and the prices are different. And so what ends up happening sometimes is you get arbitrage, where the price of the processor might be lower in Asia than it is in America. And so as a result then, we got an alarm.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Here.
Oh, KFAB's off air. Oh, no. Shoot.
I don't know what's wrong.
Hold on just a sec, guys. We're going to deal with this.
Oh, okay. I think
there we go.
Okay. Go
all right,
ahead.
cool.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So yeah, when a radio station goes off the air, we get a beeping alarm that lets us know. Of course, they couldn't have given each station its own different tone, so it just beeps the same no matter what station's offline. You just got to figure out what station's offline. And it turns out it was KFAB. That's bad. So Raj had to run in here and get it back online. So we're all good to go. But so basically, if you buy the processor in Asia, you could buy it for $30 or $40 less, and then you could turn around and sell it on eBay in America, make $30 or $40 arbitrage per chip. Are we good? Oh, okay, cool. I just want to, you had a look of concern on your face. So basically, we were able, of course, we don't save the $30 or $40. They mark it up and charge the extra for that. So we ended up paying, but it wasn't as much as if we paid the current markups on the American prices. So I learned something this week that I didn't know. If you see font, and it's like Asian font, right? Like pictographs. If there's little circles, if there's circles or bubbles of any kind in it, that's Korean. It's always Korean. It's the only font that has circles. So like little bubbles. If it has bubbles, it's Korean. I'm like, I didn't know that. So this is Korean. He goes, yeah, it's Korean. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So now I know I can see Korean. Anytime I need to know it, there it is. But no, so we got some Korean processors. They work the same. They're the exact same chips that we get in America. They're just sold in boxes with Korean on them. It's just crazy the stuff we're having to do to get around the, and we can get everything. I guess let me preface this. We can get everything. It's a matter of what the price point is at which we can get it, because obviously, if we haven't raised the prices of our computers yet at all. The whole year we didn't print catalogs because we were terrified we were going to have to raise the price of the computers. But we didn't have to raise it. We haven't raised them all year long. We're selling more computers than we ever have before because everyone around us has raised the prices of the computers. All the used computers out there that people normally will go to the second or third tier computer stores to buy used computers, they don't want the used computers because they're not Windows 11 compatible. And so you end up with this situation where we're selling more computers than ever, and we're trying to keep up without having to raise the prices. And so we'll look for the deals, right? Where we'll find, like yesterday, I don't even know what the website was. I found 20 of the Antec Elite cases for $50 a piece, which is the normal MSRP for those cases. Except the last batch that I bought, when I bought 5 of them, I spent $80 a case because that's just how much they are. Now these are big boxes, basically the housings that your computer comes in. So when you come pick up your computer, that cardboard box that the computer is in, that's the case box. And so that's what we have to mount everything in. Without the case, we obviously can't build the computer. And the case that we're in, the Antec case, was our third choice. We went through 3 other cases to get down to the Antec case, and that's where we ended up because it's a good case. I'm not knocking it. But the Antec case looks a lot like the Endeavor case. I mean, it's got some different venting on the front, but it looks a lot like the Endeavor. And we always try to go with something for the holiday special that's a little bit bigger, a little bit better, like woohoo, without being full on like gamer fans and lights and everything else. So anyway, it's been a challenge a little bit. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Aaron. Randy, good to have you. Second cup of coffee. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Carolyn. Thanks for joining us. Richard, good to have you on board. I went to Office Depot for supplies and walked by the bare computer shelves. Most models were not on display. Wow, I had no idea that they were just off display entirely. No wonder we're selling. We kind of wondered what's going on. That's why I actually sent some of my guys to go walk Best Buy. Like, go over to Best Buy and see what the hell's going on over there, because we are selling a lot of computers, guys. And I'd love to say it's because of the amazing radio show we do. But these people come in and like, well, you probably heard Thor talk about the warranty on the radio show, and they're like, who's Thor? I'm like, oh crap. Okay. They don't know. They don't know anything. And that's the weirdest thing this year. It's like, I don't understand it. We're selling holiday specials. People aren't buying the warranties. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I made sure all the staff were trained on it. I made sure, because I mean, it's really important on the holiday specials that you get the warranties. There are just two types of people in the world. Some people who buy warranties and some people who don't. And I guess there's just nothing you can say to a person that says no to a warranty to make them say yes, because even if the warranty makes complete sense, saves you tons of money, and you get your money back if you don't use it, even then they still say no. So I can't do anything more. I gotta live with it. Happy November. It's the time of year for chilly mornings, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and an annual reminder for a service center in Grand Island. I've never forgotten your request for Grand Island. I keep thinking it wouldn't be that tough. I mean, we have to have a service center. The toughest part would be the people, would be finding the people and getting people trained and getting the service center running. We probably need to add another operations manager, because at 5 service centers, especially that geographically far flung, it's really impossible for one person to cover them all. So yeah, a few things would have to change, but it's possible. It's doable. We'll see. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty flying around. We've got uncertainty because the holiday special for Schrock represents like a third of our annual revenue. And so if we're in a situation where we can't produce holiday specials because we can't get the parts, that's going to be a real bad revenue story. Now, when you're selling the computers at cost, it doesn't make a huge difference, right? I mean, because it's money in, money out. But the revenue numbers are important, because revenue numbers are what when you're going to get you get a loan, or you're going to get basically when you're trying to do anything with your business, the first question they ask you is, what's your annual revenue? And if your annual revenue dips, especially if it dips significantly, that's a real big problem. So we're a little worried that we have to keep the holiday specials coming as quick as possible. That's why I'm going in and building when they come in, to make sure that they're built and they can go out the door quick and get to the service centers where they can be sold. To make sure that when we have them, we're moving them. And if we don't have them, then we'll deal with that problem when the time comes. So we have a little bit of uncertainty around the supply chain, obviously. We've got uncertainty in staffing. Staffing costs are definitely up. They're up considerably, multiple dollars per hour up. Golly. But yet we still make adjustments. We made adjustments in the Omaha Service Center this last week. We had an individual there that it was a real tough call. Just when the guy was on, he was on, and when he was not, he was not. And we got to have consistency in our people. And so we got some new faces. So it's one of those things where we're doing our best to make sure that we're constantly providing you the best possible service we can and the best possible products that we can. But there's only so much foresight you can have. There's only so many. I mean, we made our own card readers this year, for heaven's sake. Literally, we hired a factory to make card readers so that we could make sure, because they were becoming a choke point. Stupid card readers. And the second you take the card reader out, everyone's like, where's my card reader? You're like, really? Really? Can't build a computer without it. Hello, Mitch. Richard, good to have you. Mark, I have suggestions for the new computer. Come on, stupid. These faces pop up. Can't get rid of them. I have suggestions for the new computer service, Schrock subscription or the Schrock plan. You know, those are, we have to stay away from anything descriptive, is what we have learned. Because you can't trademark or copyright descriptive things like Drive Advisor or Secure Updater because they're too descriptive. Yeah, go figure that one. So we got to call it something like crazy, right? Like Find a Renter or something stupid. So no, I mean, we'll probably end up calling it something very normal like we normally would do and saying, what the hell, just go with it. The Schrock plan. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should take a page from one of our all-time favorite Papillion Schrock customers and just call it the Schrockham Sizer. He's like it's a long story. If you've been around for a while, you know the story. I'm not going to tell you the story again, but he's a great guy. He's funny as all get out. Cheryl and Rich is here. Good audio. Howdy, Thor. Good to have you, Winston. I did send an email, Winston, on that holiday special laptop just to double check with Papillion. I'm sure it's being built, but I'm just double checking for you. Grateful for the time change because I'm awake early enough to join you today. Well, I'm glad you're here too, Barbara. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, let's see here. Good morning from Seattle. Bob, you're in Seattle. Are you safe? I'm sure there's suburbs that are safe, right? I mean, you see all this stuff from Seattle going on, and it's just like, you just shake your head like, how is it possible that normal people live there? And here, Bob is going to be Bob, you are now our Seattle correspondent, okay? You have to tell us when things are getting really bad in Seattle, like really bad, okay? Not like poop on the street bad, but really bad, okay? Good morning, Leslie. Good to have you with us. The warranty issue is because they've been burned by ESP offered by the box stores. Yeah, that's very true. The extended protection plans. Would you like to buy the extended protection plan? I bought, what was it that I bought? Like a boat tub toy for Lou. It was a $25 toy. They wanted me to buy a $2 protection plan on it. I'm like, he's 3. I know he's going to destroy this boat, but you know what's going to happen is he's going to destroy it. He's going to forget about it, and he's going to be 5, and he's not going to play with boats in the bathtub anymore. So no, I want my $2. You can't have it. I said no to the warranty. I always buy the warranty when I get a computer or an iPad. Yeah, they come in handy on those expensive things. Good morning, Ricky. Terry, welcome to the program. A new listener to the After Schrock. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. You've wandered into a strange world. So I'm just going to warn you now. This is not like the radio show. Strange things happen in this world. All right, Ricky, I ordered the holiday special laptop last Sunday, so hope this gets... yeah, Ricky, I know they shipped your laptop. I know it's been shipped. It's on the way to you. I sent a message to Papillion saying, did we not send Ricky his tracking information? So, Ricky, you can log into your Schrock account, and there is a place where it will tell you the tracking information for your order. So, take a look at your Schrock account, see if it's there. If it's not, I saw her go and ship it at FedEx. I saw her box it. I handed her the box to put it in. I told her to print out the invoice and make sure you write thank you with a pen on it. Like a thank you, a true thank you message, put it in the box. So I know it got shipped. So you should have it any moment now, but we have the tracking information. If it's not in your Schrock account, it'll get updated here and we'll get it out to you soon. But I did send an email because I saw your message earlier, Ricky. All right, good morning from West Virginia. Wow, West Virginia, that's pretty cool. We're getting all over the place here. Don't go downtown after dark, Bob says. Don't go downtown after dark. Got it. Sometimes you feel that way in Omaha, too. I don't know. It's like, a couple weirdos. I don't know. But anymore, it gets dark at like 6 o'clock, right? All right, so now we got everybody joined up. We've welcomed everybody. We're good to go here. So this article, I saw this one, and I thought, this could be a fun article for the radio show, but it's all future stuff. And I guess I said it was 10 ways. Excuse me. Oh, boy. It's 8 ways. 8 ways that quantum computing is going to change the world. And I don't know, going to 8 ways it's gonna happen, I don't know. Businesses are already exploring the future potential of quantum computers, and some industries anticipate big changes ahead. All right, so what could possibly happen? Discovering new drugs. Now, this is interesting because I know that some of the quantum computers that exist now were employed on working with coronavirus a little bit. But I guess the way that drugs are developed right now, when it's a molecular thing, when they're trying to figure out like how these molecules will interact, they create a molecule and they test it, and it doesn't work. So they change something and they test it. Doesn't work, but doesn't work for a different reason. And it's literally just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And that's why it takes so long for new drugs to be developed. Well, the idea here with a quantum computer is that you don't have to actually do those trials in the real world. You can simulate them and see what's going to happen. And you can simulate all the possibilities at the same time. Therefore, boop, here's your drug. Here's the molecular compound you need. Whoa, that'd be amazing. And then they build it and they test it and it works. And they can make new drugs very, very quickly. So I thought, hey, that was kind of a cool thing. So I read that one. I'm like, okay, maybe we could do this one on the radio show. Creating better batteries. Really? Batteries? Okay, now you're losing me here. So this is where it started to go sideways for the radio show. From powering cars to strong renewable energy, batteries are already supporting the transition to a greener economy. Not really true, but that doesn't matter. We're not here to argue about that. Their role is only set to grow, but they're far from perfect. Capacity is limited, so is their charging speed, which means they're not always a suitable option. One solution consists in searching for new materials with better properties to build batteries. This is another molecular simulation problem. Okay, so it's basically like creating a new drug, but it's creating a battery. Got it. That, not very exciting. Predicting the weather. Now, this is interesting because I don't understand how a quantum computer is going to predict the weather precisely. Because a quantum computer basically considers every possible scenario that can happen, right? And can plot out every possible change. It doesn't mean that this is what's going to happen. It means these are all the possibilities. And maybe it assigns a percentage of likelihood. But I mean, isn't that what Bill Ramsey does on the weather? It's like, looks like a 60% chance of rain today. And it doesn't rain. And you're like, 40% chance it didn't rain. Sorry. It can't be wrong. Just as quantum computers can simulate all the particle interactions going between molecules at the same time, they could also simulate how innumerable environmental factors come together to create a major storm, hurricane, or heat wave. If we only knew how those factors actually... You can't build a model if you don't know how the inputs work. And because quantum computers would be able to analyze virtually all relevant data at once, if we only knew what the data meant, they are likely to generate predictions that are much more accurate than current weather forecasts. That is possible, that they could be more accurate, but they're not going to be perfectly accurate. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this story is going off the rails now. Picking stocks. Yes, we can use our quantum computer to pick stocks. Because someone's going to do it. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Wells Fargo are actively investigating the potential of quantum computers to improve the efficiency of banking operations. A use case often put forward as one that could come with big financial rewards. Or you could just go to blockchain and be fine and get rid of your old Cobalt servers and everything. Pretty cool, huh? Crazy. There are several ways the technology can support other activities of banks. One that already shows promise is the application of quantum computing to a procedure known as the Monte Carlo simulation. The Monte Carlo operation consists of pricing financial assets based on how the price of related assets changes over time, meaning it's necessary to account for blah, 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 blah. Math. But we can use it to pick stocks. See, and this is why I didn't get on the air. Processing language. Not even going to read that one. Human brain does that now? Okay. Helping to solve the traveling salesman problem. At this, I stopped reading at this point. Honestly, guys, I stopped reading the article at this point. Like the traveling salesman problem. So what is the traveling salesman problem? A salesman is given a list of cities they need to visit, as well as the distances between each city. This sounds like one of those like elementary school math word problems. He's come up with a route that will save the most travel time and cost the least money, as simple as it sounds. The traveling salesman problem is one that many companies are faced with when trying to optimize their supply chains and delivery routes. So the traveling salesman problem. Reducing congestion, running traffic lights. A quantum computer can run traffic lights better. There are really annoying traffic lights where you're like, if we only had a digital overlord that could see there were no other cars here so I didn't have to run 2 lights every morning on the way to the radio show. Every morning, The same two lights. They stay red forever. And I'm like, this is dumb. There's literally no other cars. Not a headlight as far as I can see in either direction. And I'm sitting at a red light. It's got cameras, it's got detectors, and it knows I'm here. Why is it not changing? So I just run it. I'll get a failure to yield ticket at some point. Protecting data from hackers. Yep. See, and then the article at that point was just like, what's the point? So I didn't cover that one on the show. But that it was good enough for the aftershock. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I'm looking here at the Facebook comments, and you guys are going down the political road, and I get that. 13 Republicans voted for the infrastructure bill, and Don Bacon was one of them. And I texted my wife. I'm like, "Do you know that Don Bacon is a good guy?" And I'm like, "Do you know that Don Bacon voted for the infrastructure plan?" And my wife was literally, my wife's got the Rona right now too. So it's like it's tearing through the family. Nana's got it now. It's just tearing through the whole family. But basically, she's like, I can't handle any more real world right now. Like, nope, just don't have the energy for it. And I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, there's naked politics, and then there's wasteful government spending. There's always going to be wasteful government spending. And the infrastructure thing, this money doesn't get spent for like 10 years. It takes forever to build a road or a bridge, or there's good money in this bill for all kinds of stuff that's real infrastructure. There's a lot of fluff in it as well, but not as much fluff as the other bill, the Build Back Better bill. So if the argument here was we're going to pass this infrastructure bill, and now the Republicans can say we've already done real infrastructure, so we're not going to support the other bill at all, ever, under any circumstances, maybe this was the price of admission to get to that point. So that they could cleanly say, we already voted for infrastructure. We crossed the aisle in a bipartisan way to vote for infrastructure. Okay. I'm guessing, guys. I don't know. I don't know anything I'm not privy to any special information on this. And this is falling firmly in the camp of if you can control it. And if you can't, give it to God. And at this point, like I said, Don Bacon is a good guy. I don't personally, let me get to, I don't personally know Don Bacon, but I know people who I implicitly trust, who are good personal friends with Don Bacon. So I'm not going to jump down the he's a rhino, kick him off the train thing. But that's definitely how it's being portrayed in conservative media right now, for sure. Don Bacon said 70% of his district favored the bill. Well, that's the thing, too. If this was actual infrastructure, guys, this was real stuff. Now, you can make arguments that the federal government shouldn't be building infrastructure stuff. And we can have that debate if we want to, but that's a debate for a different day. Right now, the raw facts are the federal government is basically building roads and bridges and airports and air traffic control towers, and the electric grid does need to be hardened desperately. And there's a lot of money in this bill to do that. So there are some things in this bill that are actually real infrastructure things that really need to be done. But like I said, there's also, I'm sure if you look deep enough, you're going to find a shrimp on a treadmill somewhere in this bill. I mean, it's in there, I'm sure. All right, so what else we got? Crypto world. For those of you who are into cryptocurrencies, and for those of you who are not, I'll make this quick. The price of all the cryptos is relatively unchanged, and we've been talking a lot in the previous months about the stock-to-flow model, which is a model that Plan B uses to predict the price of Bitcoin. Their price prediction for August was exactly on target. Their price prediction for September was exactly on target. Their price prediction for October was off by 3%. So they're calling that a rounding error. They're saying, close enough for me, that's a rounding error, 3%. We said 65,000, it came in at 61, okay? So what are they saying for November? They're saying in November the price of Bitcoin is going to be over $80,000 in November. And they're saying in December it's going to be over 100,000. So that's pretty crazy stuff, right? And I'm getting a little nervous myself because You might recall that there's a certain guy that we have predictions on at the start of every year. And Nostradamus actually made a prediction that Bitcoin was going to be over a precise price at the end of the year. And I forget, honestly, I have to go back and listen to it. I think it was around 80,000, he said. I don't remember. But my gosh, a few months ago, I'm looking at that. And I was thinking about that prediction, and I'm like, this is going to be the first time in like 15 years that Nostradamus has ever been wrong on a prediction. First time in 15 years. Holy cow. But then, I don't know, look at the price. If it does what Plan B says it's going to do, if it even gets close. Because the numbers that I give you are the conservative ones. Plan B says it could be as high as 135 by the end of the year. Or as high as 100. Between 100 and 135. But either way, that makes Nostradamus right. So, interesting stuff. I don't know what's going to happen there. Liquidity mining has calmed down a little bit. It got really crazy. Like I mentioned, I kind of half mentioned, for those of you who do, I think there's like 4 of you who are doing liquidity mining, that I hope you got in on that Floki coin action. The rest of you were like, I don't know what that means. But yeah, if you bought $3,000 worth of Floki coin, you were making $700 a day for a while. It was just insane returns. And of course, then I took that money and reinvested it in other coins that are liquidity mining, and it literally doubled the size of my portfolio. So pretty crazy stuff there. For those of you who missed out on the liquidity mining phone call, if it's something you're interested in learning about, we did record that call, and I can share a link with you. If it's something, just ask for it in comments, or send a message to Schrock, and then I'll make sure you get a link that way. It's probably going to be easier than trying to sort through all the comments here. All right. What are Jeff Fortenberry's current legal issues? Well, the thing with Fortenberry was that it looks like his campaign may have taken money from somebody who can't contribute money legally to campaigns in the United States. And there's questions as to whether or not Jeff Fortenberry actually knew where the money was coming from. If you don't know, it's hard, you're still guilty, but then you can return the money and you can actually say, I had no idea, But, on the other hand, when you're actually requesting another fundraiser with the illegal guy, it makes it a little more difficult. What about a Schrock WFC for a name the computer service, worry-free computing? Worry-free computing isn't bad. The little buzzwords, things that I remember back in, I don't know, the early 2000s, maybe it was 2000, Emachines was a thing. And they had a computer, and on the front they had a sticker that said never obsolete. You see, it was upgradable. It was never obsolete. And we all laughed, because even building modular computers, we would never say it's never going to be obsolete. Well, this could be never obsolete. I think somebody's calling in here for Raj. Hey, Roger! I don't know if you can hear me or not. But anyway, somebody's calling the studio line, and usually that's Gary Saddlemeyer looking for somebody. So we want to make sure that he gets answered. But he's got Roger's cell phone number, so I don't know. It's not ringing anymore. So, okay, whatever. Strobe lights are how phones ring in radio stations, guys. Studio line was ringing. The strobe light. No, it was the...
Yeah, the one with the strobe. That's the hotline.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know it was Gary looking for you. I didn't want you to get in trouble.
That's why we have cell phones.
That's exactly what I said. So anyway, let's see. So, yeah, Emachines were always junk, but it was never obsolete. So I thought about with this model, with this idea, we could say it's never obsolete, because when it gets obsolete, you just trade it in and get a different one. Never obsolete. That computer might go obsolete, but you're never obsolete. So I don't know. We got to do some big brain marketing thinking stuff going on. Let's see, what else did we say we were going to do on the After Schrock? I don't want to forget anything. 10 ways quantum computers, holiday special supply chain challenges. I touched on this a little bit. The laptops. The biggest thing on the laptops themselves is we're seeing price fluctuations on the unibodies. Let me see. $80 fluctuation last week. We were running low. I had to order some, so I ordered 5. We paid $80 more each for them. Gulp. That makes them, we're selling them at a loss at that point. That's rough. Well, maybe someone will put a hard drive or something in it, and then, well, okay. Then, of course, yesterday I went back because I noticed that we had an like a crazy day, like one of those days where you're just like, I think we sold everything in the company, like it's all gone. I think we sold it all today, and so I said I gotta buy stuff. So I went and looked, and the price had come back down. So I was like, oh yay! So I bought more. So I've got 9 more holiday special laptops on the way. That's all I could get. I think in the company right now we have a net of 6 left available, and I have 9 on the way. Holiday special desktops, we have like 6 that are waiting to be built in the Papillion Service Center. And most of the service centers, I think the Omaha Service Center is -1 desktop. We've got enough monitors, keyboards, mice, all that stuff in stock for it. So that's good. Challenges on the desktops, on the holiday special desktops. Obviously, we talked about cases already. That's a problem. Motherboards are in shortage. They're hard to get, but we bought enough of them ahead that we're okay there. Processors, prices are going up, but we've been buying them for a long time, so we're, again, okay there. Hard drives have gone up a little bit, but nothing major. Memory prices are up. $11 for 32 gigs of RAM. $11 more than it was a week ago. Which, again, doesn't sound like a lot until it's like $30 more for the case, $11 more for the memory, $5 more for the hard drive, and, you get the picture. Eventually you got to raise the price of the computer eventually. So the monitors, oh my gosh, the monitors. So any monitor with speakers in it right now, anywhere, is either unavailable or the cost is ridiculous. We can get the exact same monitor without the speakers. And it's not like the speakers of these things are amazing speakers. And it's like $70 cheaper per monitor. And one website that we went to said that these monitors had speakers when we ordered them. So we said, okay, hey, they got speakers, great. Well, we had a customer who was like, I'm having trouble getting my monitor speakers to work. Doesn't seem to have speakers. What? We look it up on the Asus website. Sure enough, that model does not have speakers. So half the monitors we ordered in had speakers, and the other half didn't because they were slightly different model numbers, because we're getting what we can get right now. So now we're ordering in these 2-piece speaker sets to supplement for people who were supposed to get speakers, who didn't get speakers, and need speakers. So it's crazy. But, we're getting through it. But it's literally very much, you think about it in the morning and you order what you can order, and then you don't think about it the rest of the day or you'll drive yourself crazy. Regular computer stuff. Antec cases again. We're having trouble getting cases for the regular computers. The Venture computer, we had to switch to a Fractal case. Fractal cases are way nice, but they're extraordinarily expensive. But it's the Venture. It's the top-of-the-line computer we sell. It needs a nice case. We usually put them in Corsair cases, but the Corsair cases are gone. They haven't been in stock for, I don't know, months, easily 4 or 5 months. So we had switched over to the DIY PC case that we used for the holiday special last year. Really nice case. Well, they're unavailable. Sorry. We were going to use that again this year for the holiday special. Well, that was a bummer. And then we went to the Fractal cases. What else we got? Ryzen 3 chips are impossible. We can find them, but they're like $290 a chip cost. And it's like, you got to be kidding me, $290 a chip? I mean, they were $99. The MSRP on these is $99. So if we can get lucky and find some in Korea for $180 a chip, we're not getting destroyed quite as bad as buying them in America. I mean, it's just ridiculous. When we could turn around and resell the chip that we're buying and make more money than we make on the entire computer that we're building. Literally, we could make more money reselling that chip on eBay than just arbitraging the chip than we would make in the computer. It's ridiculous. Let's see, what else we got? Hard drives are good shape. We bought a year's worth, though, here for the rest of the year. We bought the entire what we think will last us the fourth quarter, but we're cutting through them at a prodigious rate, so we might have to put another order in. Power supplies, same thing. When power supplies are one of those things that comes across in a container. And so when things started to get a little hairy, we bought what should be the full year's worth of power supplies 2 months ago. So literally we got this huge shipment. The guy's like, where are we going to put all these boxes? I'm like, well, we'll stick one here, stick one there, and we'll go through them. So it's literally a lot of the stuff we've mitigated because we bought way ahead of time. Some of the stuff we were not able to mitigate because we were quantity limited or we just couldn't buy because we couldn't get them in any kind of quantity. And some of the stuff is just going up in price, and there's nothing we can really do about it. So we're gonna hold the line as long as we can, guys. But when I'm coming in to build the computers because I don't get paid hourly wages, so that's 3 hours of labor we can save right there, and woo, we can only cut for so long. All right, last call for questions, guys, and then we got to get going here because it looks like the internet's starting to wonk out. I'm seeing weird hiccups, so I don't want to have a hiccup. All right, so we'll give everybody a couple seconds for questions there before we wrap. Oh, let me see. Did I miss anybody's stuff here? Let's see. No, everybody's talking about political stuff, so yeah, we talked about all that, so that's good there. Let's see. 21H2 typically comes out toward the end of the month. Usually, when Microsoft releases them, they release them toward the end of the month. So watch for that coming up here late November-ish. I don't think they're going to release it around Thanksgiving, I wouldn't think. So, I don't know, that could have a factor. We could see it sometime next week, actually. Oh, the cost of the PC holiday special, we sell them for $15.99. That's our cost on. That's what it costs us to build them this year, $15.99. We brought back the DVD drive and the card reader this year for the holiday special desktop by popular demand as well. What's the computer company doing about these shysters that infect users' computers and steal their bank accounts? Invent another antivirus program that will go out of business? The funny thing, there was a ransomware organization that rolled up their operation, ransomware as a service, because of the pressure they were getting. And they did arrest a bunch of ransomware people in an international sting operation last week. So there is some stuff happening here. One of the things that really concerned me, I saw a story about Norton LifeLock talking about how their subscriber base has grown so dramatically. They advertise almost exclusively on conservative media, and their software is just garbage. It's just awful. And they're selling the company again. They sold it to AVG. It's guys. If you're using Norton LifeLock, I get it. If you have a subscription and you want to use the rest of it up, I get that. Don't renew it. Get off of it. It's like 2015 antivirus. It's bad stuff. How do you order the holiday special? Great question. The holiday special, you can obviously come into the service centers. Omaha, Lincoln, Papillion are open today from noon to 5. Des Moines will be open starting Monday. There are display models on display that you can take a look at and actually touch and use and experience. Otherwise, if you're somebody who's comfortable buying online, you can go over to our website at SchrockInnovations.com and purchase a holiday special right there. In fact, it looks like somebody's done that already this morning. Ralph bought one this morning. So I mean, you can go right there to SchrockInnovations.com, click on Shop. It's under Specials. It's under Holiday Specials. It's also under Computers. So you can find them under all three sections there. But starting tomorrow, we're going to start to release the marketing, and then we're going to. It's one of those things where if we wouldn't have already purchased the marketing, we probably wouldn't release it because we're selling them just fine without the marketing. And this is what a lot of companies are realizing. It's like, there's not a lot of competition for market share right now because nobody's got enough product to dominate the market. So why would you advertise for market share when you can't keep up with demand? So that's the challenge. But right now, with some Herculean efforts, we are able to keep up. So we're going to keep going until we can't keep up, and then we'll dial it back like everybody else. All right, guys, got to roll. Thanks for joining us for the program today. I appreciate you being a part of the show and being a part of the community here on Facebook and everything, and our After Schrock family. So welcome to our new listeners. It's great to have people from across the country tuning in. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you all again next weekend. Have a great, safe, and productive week. We'll see you next Sunday.